everyone, and a very good day to you all. I hope you are doing well and ready for another exciting journey into the literature. Today, we are exploring Derek Walcott's play, postcolonial play, A Dream on Monkey Mountain. As a work of postcolonial drama, it carries the features of the genre, challenging colonial legacies, reclaiming indigenous culture, blending myth and history, and exposing social and political flaws. Written for the Caribbean context, the play brings together the living, the dream world, and the spiritual realm to highlight themes of identity, history, and self-discovery, reminding us that the true freedom requires confronting both colonial oppression and the internal weaknesses of the society. So let's begin our exploration of this remarkable play and uncover the deeper meanings Walcott weaves into it. The play was first published in 1970 in The Dream on Monkey Mountain and the other plays. The genre is of a play. The locale, a West Indian island. The plot is of an allegory. In 1960, this play was dramatized. Introduction of the poet. Derek Walcott is an author who has achieved many thriving writings, including one of his most successful plays, Dream on Monkey Mountain. He was born in St. Lucia and earned a Nobel Prize in Literature in 1992. His work has inspired many readers. He has also notoriously influenced the Caribbean literature and culture. Not only has he been awarded a Nobel Prize, but he has also been mentioned in the New York Times after his death, giving a profound legacy to future generations. The historical background of the play. Derek Walcott's play, Dream on Monkey Mountain, 1967, is deeply connected to the colonial history of the Caribbean, particularly St. Lucia, an island repeatedly contested between France and Britain. This struggle left behind a legacy of slavery, racial hierarchy, and cultural hybridity, where the French language and culture continued to shape local identity despite the British rule. The play reflects how colonial powers imposed Eurocentric values that created shame towards African heritage and skin complexion, a legacy that haunted post-colonial societies across the Caribbean and Africa. Through the characters like Macaque and Corporal Lestrade, Walcott dramatizes the psychological and social effects of colonial domination, including racial profiling, internalized oppression, and the dehumanization of African-descended people. The figure of the white goddess symbolizes European colonized populations, while Macaque's journey represents the struggle to reclaim dignity, cultural identity, and liberation. Thus, the play draws upon the historical traumas of slavery and colonial rule, while also envisioning the possibility of healing and independence for a Caribbean society. The title significance. The title Dream on Monkey Mountain is profoundly symbolic, encapsulating the central concerns of Derek Walcott's play and the colonial history it critiques. The term dream signifies both the imaginative escape from the brutal realities of colonization and the visionary hope for freedom, dignity, and cultural self-assertion. For Macaque, the protagonist, the dream becomes a spiritual journey towards reclaiming his African roots and resisting internalized inferiority, though it also underscores the fragile boundary between illusion and reality in the post-colonial condition. The phrase Monkey Mountain carries layered meaning. It evokes the geographical and cultural isolation of the marginalized, but it also reclaims a space for rebirth, transformation, and healing. The word monkey, historically used as a colonial slur to dehumanize Africans, is deliberately inverted by Walcott, turning the site of insult into one of struggle and empowerment. Thus, the title encapsulates the paradox of colonial experience: shame and resistance, alienation and return, and becomes a metaphor for the collective journey of Caribbean people to overcome Eurocentric definitions and embrace their cultural identity. The setting of the play. In drama, the setting refers to the physical and geographical backdrop of the play. It includes time, place, scenery, and atmosphere, helping the audience understand where and when the action unfolds. The setting shapes the mood, tone, and themes, making it a crucial element of dramatic expression. Now, let's move to the character analysis. There are major characters. Dream on Monkey Mountain is a play that delves into complex themes of identity, colonialism, and spiritual awakening through its major characters, namely Macaque and Corporal Lestrade. Macaque. Macaque, an old Negro, the hermit of Monkey Mountain, is 60 years old, ugly, and named for the macaque monkey he resembles. By trade, a wood gatherer and charcoal burner, in his dream, he becomes the king of Africa, guided by an apparition for a beautiful white woman. Partly mad, partly possessed, and partly drunk, he may dream the entire play in Lestrade's cell after a night of drunkenness. Arrested for stealing coal and disorderly conduct, he becomes an allegorical Christ figure, performing miracles, gathering followers, and leaving behind stories of his wonders. Both portrayed and believed as the Lion of Africa, who will lead his black brethren back to Africa, only after killing their whiteness. His hypothesis comes when he kills the white woman who haunted him into this mission. Macaque embodies a more instinctive, primitive, less rational being. Perhaps the projection of Lestrade's black self, his black alter ego. Goaded by Lestrade, he kills the white goddess. He rejects any image that reminds him of his blackness, confessing he has lived without child, without wife, and without an image of himself. When he looks at himself, he sees what a white racist sees. His identity, worldview, and self-evaluation are shaped by white perceptions and ideas that sustain racial hierarchies. Velko calls this racial despair, a sense of complete denigration that drives Macaque mad, rooted in being rootless, without a tradition or homeland, a stranger in a home owned by someone else, by the whites. After his arrest, Lestrade taunts him. "Where is your home? Africa?" Macaque replies, "Sir Mon Macaque," translated as "on Monkey Mountain," but meaning more like on despondent Macaque. He lives in a sense on racial despair. In his delusions, Macaque dreams of returning to Africa, his roots, the magical homeland, yet this vision is uncertain. Unlike Soares, when Macaque looked at God, he saw not a big white man but blackness. As Lestrade asks, what did the prisoner, Macaque, imply? That God was neither white nor black, that he had lost his faith, or what? His madness deepens when he hallucinates the visit of a white woman who loves him. Her love restores his identity. She calls out my name, my real name, and tells him, she says that I come from the family of lions and kings. Yet, even here, Macaque internalizes colonial views of black Africans as natural beings, one with the jungle. His romantic nativism becomes romantic naturalism, tied to his image as the white lion, king of the jungle. He urges Soares to be at home or one of the forest creatures, making himself, in Soros' words, half man, half forest. Let's move to the second character, Corporal Lestrade. In Dream on Monkey Mountain, the state of hybridity is experienced by the Corporal Lestrade, whom Walcott presents as partly painted white and black to affirm his hybrid identity. From the opposite side of the stage, a top-hatted, frock-coated figure with white gloves, his face half by white makeup, like Baron Samedi, enters and crouches behind the dancers. Lestrade accuses the blacks for their rage for whiteness, which does drive niggers mad. But, like Beminger, his very mind is a colony, an island outpost of the hypocritical white. Lestrade manifests clearly the desires, the anguish, and the psychological needs that had been echoed in the earlier works of Walcott. Macaque is described by Lestrade as a being without a mind, a will, a name, a tribe of its own, and one whose very dream does not distinguish God as either black or white. But he himself is described by Tigray as neither one thing nor the next, neither milk, coal, neither day nor night, neither lion nor monkey, but a mulatto, a foot-licking servant of marble law. Lestrade, who before his conversion had convinced of himself as a white man, was a corporal, an officer of the British rule, and insistently asserted that he had the white man's law to uphold. With a typical colonial attitude, he took perverse pleasure in restricting and penalizing the natives. There is nothing quite so exciting as putting down the natives. It is in the forest, in the heart of darkness, that experiences a kind of conversion when he is confronted by death. Then and only then does the mulatto acknowledge the blackness of his identity, which he had hitherto rejected. Lestrade moves from one extreme to the other, almost one death to other. His previous hatred of the black is now replaced by a hatred of the whites, because his act of self-discovery is still not complete. In the scene of apotheosis, it is he who insists that it is necessary for Macaque to kill the white goddess, who is the confounder of blackness. He tells Macaque she is the white light that paralyzed your mind. But, having himself wielded the sword of a white man, it would appear that Lestrade, in a reversal of roles, would chop off her head, in cancelling out of the white blood with the black blood. Lestrade deplores the rhetoric of nativism in order to support westernization. He urges onward, progress, and in keeping with his idea of progress, faces Macaque towards the moon in order to go forward. And as he approaches his conversion, Lestrade cries out to Mother Africa, Mother Earth, as he removes his clothes in preparation for his rebirth as African. He announces, I return to this earth, my mother. Let's move to the supporting characters. Supporting characters like Mystique, Tigray, Soros, the apparition, etc. represent different responses to the socio-political landscape. Mystique. Mystique is an African fellow who sells the magical power of Macaque by labeling him as the lion and the king and spiritual healer. He makes money through this, that he has bigger plans for making money out of the name of Macaque. But sooner or later, he is caught up by the police while promoting and showing the character of Corporal Lestrade. The character of Tigray. A young black thief in jail when Macaque is arrested. He breaks out of jail and follows Macaque to Monkey Mountain, ostensibly to follow Macaque to Africa, but actually to steal his money. When he tries to force Macaque to lead him to the money, the corporal kills him with a lance. He represents the thief who was damned in the allegorical parallel. The character of Soros, the rat, another black thief. He is a partner with Tigray in his breakout and equally eager to get Macaque's money. Later, he is converted to Macaque's African Zionism. He represents the thief who was saved. That is all for today. I will see you in the next lecture where we will talk about the literary devices and the analysis of the play Dream on Monkey Mountain. Thank you so much.